Hi, everyone. It's Allie from Heart and Soul Connected, and I want to welcome you to my channel. I have been a creator of content now for about 4.5 years, starting during the pandemic, where I will talk about spiritual topics, dreams, angels, whatever that might come up. And also am a teacher of the humanities in English, and sometimes talk about books or music or movies. So come on by. I'm almost at 6,000 subscribers, and I really could use your help. If you could like and subscribe, I would totally appreciate it. Today, I want to talk about happiness without conditions. As you can see, my sign behind me says that happiness is a decision. And it's really hard to be happy when you're looking only for external things that can bring you happiness. If you have conditions, I will only be happy when, I will only be happy if, I will only be happy dependent upon this or that condition, then it's quite likely you'll never be happy, because we can't always have those conditions met, and we need to drop our expectations that surround them. So can it be done? Can you challenge yourself to live without expectations, maybe for just a week, and then maybe 2 weeks, and then a month, and maybe 6 months, maybe your lifetime? We currently live in a climate where so much chaos is existing that it's really hard for us, because we're being bombarded with a lot of chaotic imagery, a lot of chaotic messages, and we're being asked to deflect from that and not allow it to bother us. And then there's the other side of it, that if we aren't aware of it, then are we sticking our heads in the sand? So trying to be happy without having conditions upon our happiness level is important. And of course, this does not mean that there aren't people who have depression, that are unhappy, that suffer from great loss or suffer from debilitating diseases, that makes it more difficult, let's say, to work in a happy way. But if we choose it, if we make the decision to look for those things at least once a day and find gratitude in some of those things, then we are able to move from that into something much, much better, a deeper relationship with ourselves and with others, which is totally important. So happiness is a concept more relevant today than ever, because we do live in this fast-paced world, and we are all of us seeing things happen and unfold in real time. And that's been occurring now for many years, but it seems to be occurring even more. And so that makes it difficult. Some of us have had to step away from news, or be judicious in our choices of where we get our information from, just to protect ourselves. And there's always something about that resonates with me, because if we don't protect ourselves, if we don't take care of ourselves, there ain't nobody else going to take care of us. Many of us believe that happiness is tied to some sort of external circumstance, like I'll be happy when I have enough money to get this, to do this, to go on this trip, to retire, to buy a new car, to take charge of what it is that I would like to do. And that is really difficult, but it is deeply ingrained in our cultures that we grew up with. And it's always about, especially the Western mindset, not necessarily the Eastern mindset, that is very tied up with dependent upon external factors. Social medias are and have been filled with people's joyous, moments. You can watch one and think that everybody's got a much more perfect life than you do, and they have everything they need, and you don't. And it's just like we get into this big cycle of a cat chasing its tail in so many ways. Oh, look at that person. That person is the same age I am. Look how fabulous they look, and look how I look. Or look what they've done with their life, and look what I've done. It's a comparison thing. It's always been there. The keeping up with the Joneses mentality, especially in the Western culture. We start to feel like we need to keep up with other people, that our happiness is just around the corner. And as long as we can achieve this next big thing. The mindset has led us to striving for more, but never also being satisfied for what we have. We have a brand new cell phone, but there's another one that's out now that we have to get. Some of these things have been dispelled by many people, but there is still that idea that the other person is always so much more fortunate than we are. And unless we look at our own gratitude, unless we perhaps start to focus on that, which we do have, it makes it very difficult for us to move into some kind of happiness. Happiness is not a permanent place. However, the way we look at it can be permanent. We can take a look at it and say, for instance, today I'm going to choose to be happy. I'm going to choose to see the things that exist around me that bring me joy. A warm cup of coffee or tea, a nice muffin that's heated in the microwave. Perhaps it's a walk along the beach, or a country walk down the country road. The sun is out, looking at flowers popping up through in the spring, and in the wintertime, seeing the nesting that's done and the warmth of the fire and so on. So various philosophies have also support the idea of finding happiness that's within ourselves. It's for this reason that I have always been very interested in the Buddhist philosophies, because happiness comes from within, and since our external circumstances are always changing, it's futile to rely on them to provide us with that happiness until we can see, as things do change constantly, that we will have to look for other areas in our life to exist, to be happy about. There's nothing wrong with that. It is our decision. We can choose to wallow in the discontent, or we can try to find happiness within each and every moment that we have, because we don't have tons and tons of time here on the planet. We work a lot, we raise our children, and if we choose not to have children, we have other things that occupy our time. And maybe some of you find happiness in traveling, and maybe that traveling can be close traveling. You like going to a bookstore, for instance, or maybe you like to go bowling, or you like to watch a sports game or go to a concert. Those things can really bring a lot of happiness to us, but it doesn't have to be those big moments either. It can be something very, very small that can create that moment of, oh, yes, I'm sitting in the joy of this. Positive psychology also emphasizes the importance of focusing on our present moment and cultivating a sense of gratitude there. The past is gone, but we can reflect back on the memories if we so choose and be nostalgic. The future is over here. We can sort of plan for it, but really all that we ever have is the present moment. The past used to be a present moment. The future will be a present moment when we are in it. And so you can see that if we keep looking out there for the next best thing, we're not enjoying what it is we currently have. And there are a lot of things to be happy about. Perhaps a nice hot bath, perhaps walking in the grass, taking your dogs for a walk, holding and rocking your grandchildren. It could be anything, really. It can be anything. Spending time with friends. Letting go of our attachment to any external validation is very important, because it will help us to cultivate this sense of inner peace and contentment that comes with living in that present moment. It's very important that we focus on the present moment. Many people have found happiness without relying on conditions to be happy. Their stories are inspiring. They, all of them, bar a few, are about what's going on in that present moment, like spending time with loved ones. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's cultivating a relationship with a new friend, or it's going down to the craft store and finding something that you can do that will bring you happiness, making a necklace, writing in a journal. It doesn't have to be something that, society puts us on this path where it has to be something, oh my God, outstanding. It doesn't have to be. It can be just a moment of solitude, a moment where you like being by yourself, a moment where you're sharing with others. So we've got to let ourselves tune away the external attachment to validation or to be validated, to cultivate this sense of self-worth that is not dependent upon outside circumstances, because outside circumstances can also change in a heartbeat. Very true. This is a result of a profound shift that allows us to see the world in a very different light, to find happiness. I know that of recent days, we have had a lot of Hubble space pictures come back. I love them. The idea of this other world that we have no way of ever seeing before, that we can see now. Pictures of Mars, pictures of Pluto, the ability to see into and know about other galaxies, other depths in the ocean, underneath Antarctica, where people are finding that there were civilizations and different types of animals and plants and flowers and fish and fowl that have lived underneath this planet that we had no idea about until maybe most recently. These are things that can be shared and seen quite often, either here on YouTube or in other forums, scientific forums. I mean, if you could even begin to imagine that those scientists who found bacterium that were eradicating populations way back in the medieval times, if they could have seen under a microscope and known how to take care of that, how very different that life would have been. But in their present moment, we're astonished and have created a whole new paradigm for the rest of the world. These things come. These things come when we least expect them as well. It also helps to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. If you're not a person who likes to write in a journal, then you don't need to, but maybe you want to put in your day timer if you have one. Today, the sun was out and I saw the birds at the bird feeder and how beautiful they were. And in that moment, I realized that the earth or the planet or the spirit works in such mysterious ways as to take care of us all. You will get profound insights if you sit with it in your momentary mindfulness. Happiness without conditions is always possible. It is, even in the darkest days that we experience. Remembering a joke, remembering the sound of your father's voice or your mother's, the way she sang. All of those can reach out and touch us in exponential ways. And when we're going through grief, we will realize that other is not that far away from us as well. So let go of your attachments to any external validation. Cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment in whatever is at the present moment. And don't be dependent upon external. If somebody has to cancel something, then it's not time. If you're late to something, you were meant to be late to something. There are a lot of things we grieve over, even silly things that we grieve over. I'm not suggesting that grief is something that is stupid or foolish, because it isn't. We do grieve over getting older. We grieve over our children moving away. We grieve over the loss of our friends and our pets. There's always some glimmer in there that we can look at and be grateful for. Be grateful for the fact you knew these people or you had this beautiful pet. It may take a while. Not everybody is on the same timeline. Everybody needs their own personal way of dealing with things. I want to thank you so much for listening. I welcome you to the channel, and I hope to see you back here again. We have a very lively chat, very friendly people, and we love to hear your comments and thoughts about things, because that's what builds the channel as well. Thank you again. You have a beautiful spring day or fall day in the